Well, I'm really proud of my team. I thought it was a very workmanlike game, victory for us tonight. We got off to a great start defensively. Thought Zach Keller did a really good job in there guarding, and guys made a big three there to start the game. Got a tough two around the basket, and we got off to a really good start. I thought we ended the half very poor. I think they scored 8 straight possessions, maybe 8 out of 9 in the half, which wasn't good. Got off to kind of a slow start the second half, but when it became game time, I thought we buckled back down, and we got 3 kills in a row. So 9 straight possessions of stops. You're going to win a lot of games, doing that. Really good defending the 2. They were 14 for 44 from 2. That's only 32%. That's really good defense. They made, the shots they were making really were dribble jumpers. They weren't really laying it in our basket. So, as they wore down, I think those shots became a little bit harder. They were 2 for 10 from 3, I think, in the second. But I thought overall we just played a really solid game, especially defensively. We got it going offensively at times, and we shared it, but they're a physical team. The last thing I'll say is last year we went up there and had 22 turnovers. We only had 10 tonight, and they're really good at turning you over. We did a great job of that, and I think that probably was a big part of the game. Questions?
Steve, in what ways, now that you have him, does Efton change this basketball team?
Well, he changes it in a lot of ways. First and foremost, he's our best communicator. I know you guys sit way up there in the nosebleeds, but I don't know if you can hear him talking on the court, but he's constantly communicating what's going on defensively. It's like, the center or something, or in football, or the middle linebacker. I don't know how they do it anymore, but he's that guy, and obviously gives us a tremendous presence around the basket. He can alter shots. He rebounds. He had 14 rebounds. He's got some vice grips for hands. I think the offense will get better, even though it wasn't bad. And we'll put some more things in to get him the ball too. We put some things on the fly tonight, and he just caught it and dunked it. He didn't get eligible till after, at the end of practice yesterday. So, and it's not like he hasn't been practicing. He has. But when games started, he kind of went more to the scout team. To be honest with you, he wasn't getting a lot of reps with the number 1 team, when we were getting ready to play games. But he was still out there. And so I think he changes our team. And I think it was pretty apparent tonight because he had a double-double.
Real quick, you didn't know before practice that?
No, No, Lindsey Babcock came. It's funny, I didn't even told her this. I was in the middle of practice, and somebody came over and said she had to talk to me. She was in the tunnel, and she walked away from me. I'm like, oh. And I walked around the corner, and I had a camera, or one of the cameras there, and I'm like, well, they're obviously not going to videotape me if it's a bad thing. All right, so it kind of tipped it off a little bit. While we're talking about it, I think there's a lot of people that I really need to thank, and I know I understand everybody's freaking out, about it, and why aren't we having press conferences? Why aren't we, making statements and this and that? It's not the way to do it, and I thought we handled it in a very professional manner as anything can be handled, because we had a great case the whole time, and we knew it. It starts with Efton and his mom Maria and his brother Alex. They're just special people. They're great people. And then we have a whole bunch of people here at Wake that helped. I mean, Gerald Roach on the board, Dr. Wente, John Curry, Lindsey Babcock, and Darren Cadell. They carried the ball for 200 and some days. They were incredible. Pete Postelis, Brian White, our general counsel, Dr. Rachel Conway, Dr. Chris Miles, all those people on campus were very instrumental. And then we had Stu Brown, former Wake grad, who's Efton's attorney, along with Ben Fleming. Poor Stu had his appendix ruptured over the weekend, so he's in the hospital. I did talk to him last night. He was really excited. And then we had outside counsel with Bob Kirshner from BSNK in Kansas City and John Long. And then we had advising from former Governor Mike Easley. So, guys, we had a lot going on, okay? And I also want to say that, how much I think of Mark Few. Mark supported this thing from the get-go, and Mark wrote a letter in his defense supporting him. He didn't have to do that. That's the type of person that he is. And so you asked me why I felt like we could get this thing, because it was the right thing. And credit to the NC2A for doing the right thing. Okay, now, was it on your time frame? It's not about our time frame. It's about their time frame. And so I thought it was handled with class the whole way through.
Steve, if you had to draw up a debut,
Yeah,
points, 14 rebounds, about as good as it can get.
I think so. I would like to see him make one of those threes. He can make them. But yeah, I don't think a guy could do much more than that. And it's against Rutgers too. It's a good opponent, tough, big center. He didn't look like he had missed a beat. And the players really like him, and that helps. He's a great, probably one of the best teammates on the team. That's why he's a captain.
Non-Efton category. Do you have a goal for how many kills you want to get per game, or is that just?
I think it's 7.
Okay.
Yeah, we had maybe 7 or 6. We had 8 total, and like I said, but we had 3 in a row in that really important time when we extended the lead again.
I think those were 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think we got one at the end on that last play.
A boopy question.
Yeah.
What has he been bringing to this team as you guys? It's kind of not lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, he's played tremendous. And it's not just the offense. He gets a lot of scrappy loose balls. He gets a lot of 50-50 balls. He's getting down in there and getting rebounds. He's getting down in there and knocking balls out of people's hands. He's stealing the ball. He's doing a better job, I think, of getting to the paint and distributing. They're all scorers. They all got that scorers mentality, which is fine, but you got to play for each other. And I think he's doing a lot better job of that. I mean, he's just learning, man. He's just a sophomore. This is his first go around, at this level, and he's made as much as improvement from the time we scrimmaged Georgetown to now, probably anybody on the team. That's surprising. Well, yeah, he's West Sider. Yeah, he's probably not South Sider. I didn't know that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Steve, Rutgers is a team, obviously, that forced 22 turnovers against you last year. They averaged 17 a game this year. What was the key to keeping that number low? You had 3 early in the first half.
Yeah.
That probably had to be concerning. You guys kept it in check the rest of the way.
I mean, I just think making the right play and playing off. I know playing off 2 feet, not jumping up in the air and making passes against the full court pressure, and then not playing with the ball and just beating them up the court. And when 2 come, get on 2 feet, get it to the open guy, and let's keep playing and flow into offense. We didn't hold the ball. A couple times they went to zone. I thought we did kind of a poor job of attacking that. Actually, we had a backdoor lob and we missed it. We didn't throw it. I think that, and we have guys that we have multiple guys that can handle the ball, and that helps a lot too. And they're older. I'll give you an example, and that's not about the ball handling, but last year at this time, Zach Keller had to guard 11, and he dunked him in the basket as a freshman. He did, but he didn't this tonight. He had a hard time with him. That's how much Zach's gotten better. Zach plays hard, and I think a lot of times people equate production with points, but Zach's done a hell of a job playing hard, rebounding, boxing out. Doesn't always get the rebound, but he's guarding his guy. Matt's done. He didn't get a chance to go tonight, but he will. Matchups. Those guys have played very well for us.
You talk about having multiple guys that can handle the ball. That helps in terms of physical and mental fatigue handling this kind of pressure, right?
That's right. You don't wear down. Like Andrew he was freed up tonight to go fly around on the glass. Now he has to do a little better job defending the perimeter. But again, those are jab jumpers. I mean, gonna make some of those. They weren't laying it up in our basket. That would be a major problem. But yeah, having multiple guys being able to handle the ball takes a lot of heat off of them. But I also thought Parker and Marcus gave us really good minutes, and Zach kind of came off the bench or on the bench, but they gave those guys a chance to rest, and there was no drop off. Parker made a big three, but Parker blocked out, stripped and ripped. He can do a lot of things. Marcus too. Marcus got some offensive rebounds, and so he had 3 boards in 8 minutes. It's pretty good.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because
You're wrong. Go ahead.
Love it. So Rutgers goes on a 9-0 run through the second half, and then before there's any stoppage for timeout, Wake comes right back, 8-0 run, and then 10-0 run out of the break.
Yeah.
How much does that speak to the resiliency of the team that you don't need the timeout after that 9-0 run?
Yeah. Well, I kind of knew that was coming. That time. I think at that point maybe the media was coming or something. Yeah. Sometimes you got to fight. You got to work out your problems. You can't. You got to figure it out and keep playing. And this is a pretty resilient group of dudes, and they're good guys. And so I thought, that's when the game broke open, and especially when we came out of the timeout, we made the run. He finally had to call the timeout, and it went. Actually, we had the media coming, and he called timeout. We came out. I think we scored, and they had another timeout. And Marcus Marion was like, well, we just had a timeout for 3 minutes. I said, it's not Denmark, okay? We have media timeouts here. And so, but that's the maturity you want to see, right? You want to see that. You want to see us dig down. And really the timeouts there wasn't a lot of talk about offense. It was about defending. And we were doing some different things. Hyatt, number 5, is a hard guard because he plays the 3 and the 4. When he's at the 3, you can switch him, but then he posts up. Then we got to go monster him if he posts. When 11 got the ball, we had Efton playing him one-on-one, but if Zach was guarding him, we were redding him or monstering him. We started going we were blitzing sides, and then we didn't. And then we were in drop going under, and then we were drop going over. We did a lot of different things. And that's exciting to me to be able to change up defenses like that with, a group of guys that can do that. So unbeknownst to some of our experts out there, we do make adjustments, okay? And I know some people wouldn't know what adjustment they saw it, but that's okay.
And then in terms of the team's physicality, 32 points in the paint, out-rebounding Rutgers, 15 offensive boards.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate that stuff kind of is. I see it on the stat sheet, but a lot of times after we watch film and get our analytics from the company that we use, it's not always the same. But I agree with you. You could feel it, right? We did a great job in the paint, and I think that goes to the 14 for 44 from 2. Now, that means they were missing at the rim, but it also means they were taking tough twos and not making them. Does that make sense? When we're in the drop in the middle, the guard has to chase over the top or chase under it and keep coming after him and make him shoot a dribble too. And if they want to shoot those, they can shoot those all day long. We just got to get the rebound, and we did, So, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
Obviously, it looks pretty good when it's 12 and 14, but considering the talent level that Efton had coming out of high school, have you had a big quite like Efton since arriving here?
Dallas was really good, but they're different players. I thought, Dallas was a little bit more of probably a finesse big. Not that Efton can't do that, but probably not. I don't remember the last time I really had a player like even, that could score like that. Even at Wichita, or at Tennessee, maybe Wayne Chisholm, was a really good all-SEC player for us. They're hard to get. And honestly, once you get them, they don't always like. He's got unbelievable character, man. He's a tremendous person, and he's a hard worker, and he's got great feet. I think he was well taught in high school. His high school coach is the one that made this happen. He's the one that called me. Like, I flew to Spokane to recruit Hunter. I never talked to Efton. I wasn't even recruiting him. And then his high school coach is friends with the AD that hired me at East Tennessee State, Dr. Richard Sander. They live in Richmond. And his high school coach called me. His high school coach from Richmond, right before Hunter came on a visit, just asked me if we'd be interested because he was looking to move back to home. And I'm like, yeah, we'll be interested.
After that, though, was it the tape or was it a conversation that won you over?
Well, first of all, I talked to his mother for over an hour the first time I called her. And I don't talk to my wife that long on the phone. I was just enthralled with her. She's awesome. I seen him score 15 points and get 10 rebounds against us as a freshman in the Emerald Coast Classic. So I knew who he was. We tried to recruit him out of high school. He's just not going to listen. It was during COVID. I mean, not coming. So I didn't need a lot of encouragement. I went back and watched his LSU clips. I knew he was well coached this year past year at Gonzaga. I think it's just timing. You know, he probably committed there and early, and Timmy was going pro. You know, and then in June 1, he's coming back, and now you got these 2 5s, and you can't really play them together. You know, and Timmy's going to play all the minutes because he's Drew Timmy, and so I get it. You know, and then he had a situation with his mom that just changed. He had to get closer to home, and we're lucky. You know, I mean, and I recruited him and Hunter. I mean, I went after those guys as hard as I could.
Steve, you mentioned your conversation with Lindsey Babcock in the hallway, but what was it like to announce to the team and to see their joy? And what was that host?
That's huge. I mean, I think that shows you, that's a testament to how they feel about him, right? It could have been like, man, he's getting eligible. You know, everybody was happy. You know, I was very emotional. I mean, I'm a crier. You know, I was crying out in the hallway before I came in there, but they didn't know. They were still practicing when I walked in there. You know, and then I just kind of huddled them up. You know, and they were kind of looking at me like, practice over? No, it's not over. All right. But
You made him practice after that?
oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've been through a lot, you know, and it again, I listed all those people. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of belief in him, you know, that this is worth it because he's worth it. And not just the basketball. He's a tremendous representative of this institution on and off the court, and he's a high-level student, you know, a very likable person, and I'm blessed to coach him and have his family in my life. They're just good people.
You're no longer a donut.
Donut team.
You're no longer a donut.
What's that mean?
You never heard that donut term?
Uh-uh. Oh. God dang, Dell, you show up, now you're throwing stuff at me like that. I thought you were talking about Dunkin' Donuts for a minute, man. I know, but I'm very sorry to Krispy Kreme. I know you're a great sponsor of our institution. I'm sorry. And I do eat them. That sounds like a baseball term.